What's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia, back with another Waiver Wire video here right before the All-Star break. While all your competitors are taking a weekend off, they're going to watch the Futures game, they're going to watch the Home Run Derby. We're going to be hitting the Waiver Wire, and we're going to be hitting it hard. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, make sure you like this video, and of course, subscribe to FantasyPros MLB. We are growing every single day. It's an amazing thing. I wish I could say the same about my hair doing that, but unfortunately, that's not meant to be, but we can still grow the YouTube channel here at FantasyPros MLB, so please subscribe and, of course, share, because it's fun to share. It's a nice thing to do, and here we go. Here are the waiver wire pickups for Week 15 in Major League Baseball. Let's kick things off with Jake Odorizzi, starting pitcher of the Houston Astros, rostered in just 30% of leagues right now. Jake Odorizzi on the year has 9 starts at 42 innings, and in those 42 innings, he has a 2-to-1 K walk rate, 31 strikeouts to 14 walks, a 1.22 whip, and a 3.38 ERA. Over his most recent start since returning from injury, he had 1 walk, 7 strikeouts in 7 shutout innings, and gave up just 4 hits. Now, here's the thing. He's going to go back into this rotation and stay there. There's a good chance Cristian Javier is the guy that gets bumped out because, frankly, the Astros can afford to do that with the depth of rotation they have. So Cristian Javier owners, you got to be a little worried right now because he can be so effective out of the bullpen, because he can go multiple innings, because he is so versatile. Jake Odorizzi is probably back in this rotation for the second half, and Cristian Javier might be on the outside looking in, again, barring an injury. Jake Odorizzi is somebody you should roster because the Astros are a great team. They're going to have lots of good matchups in the second half. And really, at this point, Jake Odorizzi is not going to the bullpen. He is a starting pitcher, so that's probably where he's going to end up and stay. And you could do a lot worse than Jake Odorizzi in a 2-start week for the Houston Astros. Next on the pickup list is Nico Horner, second baseman / shortstop for the Chicago Cubs, rostered in about 35% of leagues. Now, Nico Horner had an absolutely red-hot torrid June, hitting .344 with a .392 OBP. And July has gotten off to a pretty good start as well, hitting .277 so far. I understand Nico Horner is not winning any home run titles, but if you're looking for a guy who can steal some bases, hit for a good average, and really help you out in points leagues, I think Nico Horner is your guy. For those who are trying to find an answer to the missing Wander Franco problem right now, Nico Horner could be that solution. Overall in the year, he's in 73 games. He's got 8 stolen bases and 5 home runs. There's a good chance when we look up at the end of Nico Horner's stats at the end of the year, you're looking at a player with probably around a dozen home runs and probably around 15 steals with a .300 batting average. Hey, that's pretty good last time I checked, and I can't believe he's available in as many leagues as he is. So I tried to highlight him a few weeks ago. I told you to pick him up for $1. Now I'm telling you to pick him up for maybe 3 or 4 because time is ticking here, and Nico Horner can help you in multiple formats. Next up on our list is Nolan Jones of the Cleveland Guardians, third baseman rostered in roughly 25% of formats right now. The 24-year-old slugger is just that. He's a slugger that strikes out a fair amount, but he's certainly got some upside with the power in that bat. And so far, the major leagues have been pretty easy for Nolan Jones. Over his first 7 games and 20 at-bats, he has a home run, 8 ribbies, and a .350 batting average. Not too shabby. Of course, the strikeouts are going to be there for Nolan Jones, but can you ride this wave of the player who comes in flaming hot into the big leagues and you get a couple good weeks out of them before the league starts making adjustments? Yes. Is Nolan Jones good enough to make adjustments back? Yeah, probably, but as long as he is starting and playing as much as he has been so far since he's come up, Nolan Jones is worthy of at least a bench spot, if not some regular playing time in your fantasy lineup as well. So, me and Mr. Jones are going to be big stars. Well, at least maybe Mr. Jones. Maybe not so much me. Next up, and for the second week in a row, Carlos Santana of the Seattle Mariners. Look, I tried to tell you last week, but clearly nobody listened because now the roster percentage is still just 11%. So you gotta understand it, you gotta listen here, because over his last 6 games, the guy is getting on base, he is scoring some runs, he's flashing a little bit more power. I understand he's not changing the game, but holy cow, can Carlos Santana help this Seattle Mariners lineup? I think he can. And Carlos Santana has found himself in a better situation on a team that's playing a whole heck of a lot better. I understand he's probably a little over the hill, but at the same time, I think we have to realize that Carlos Santana, with those 2 dingers on last Sunday's game, and looking ahead for the second half, is going to get some playing time. And he's probably not going to hit for a good average, but he's never been a big average guy. In OBP leagues, he can still get it done. 359 OBP on the year. Yes, please, sign me up. So Carlos Santana should be rostered in every OBP league, in points leagues probably as well. Maybe I'm getting a little frustrated here, but come on, folks. Give this veteran one more chance to be useful for the last 70 games of the season, and I think you might be pleasantly surprised. Last this week is Max Meyer, starting pitching prospect of the Miami Marlins. Now, he's rostered in roughly 40% of leagues right now, but that means he's available in almost 60, and this is a guy that could still help you with pitching down the stretch run. Because of the missed time with the injury, the innings total is not going to be cumbersome when we get into August and September, and there's a good chance you're going to see Max Meyer get at least half a dozen starts, if not more, at the major league level. There's nothing left to prove at the AAA level for Max Meyer. Max Meyer, so far, since he's come back from the injury on July 3rd, has 2 game starts, and over those starts, a 1.69 ERA in 10 innings with 12 strikeouts and 4 walks. Opponent's batting average of 118. Oh yeah, and a whip of .75. This is an elite pitching prospect, one of the best in baseball, if not the best, arguably. And he is there for the taking in most fantasy leagues. In redraft, he might be able to help you down the stretch. And in dynasty and keeper leagues, he should be owned already. And if he's not, run to the waiver wire and claim Max Meyer right now and have him for next season as well. All right, those are the names that I want you to add to your team this week in Major League Baseball. If you've got some more names to help some people out, drop them in the YouTube comments here below. Don't forget to subscribe to FantasyPros MLB, the home of leading off the greatest baseball podcast in the history of the universe. Every single day we are live here on the YouTube channel at noon Eastern, so make sure you check us out there and have a great All-Star break. Enjoy the break, but then get right back to the grind on that waiver wire. We'll see you next time, kids.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our featured videos. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Fantasy Pros, so you can get the latest news and updates to give you the edge you need in your fantasy league.